Ondo update, what holders need to know now. All that in this video, all the database news for Ondo. But first, let's get to it. What is Ondo actually? It's from the RWA sector, so real world assets. Right? For those who've heard of it, it's extremely important. Everything will ultimately be built on blockchain in the future, right? For example, stocks on blockchain, including on Ondo, but also assets and even real estate. And it's just that, as mentioned, the platform also brings US bonds to the blockchain, and as I said, stocks too. Over the last 30 days, Ondo has gained plus 7%, so a decent increase already. And if you haven't seen the video on Ondo yet, where I fully analyzed Ondo and also explained it in detail, then I'll link it for you up here and you can get more info there. But let's get into the news now. But first, let's look at the last 30 days. The momentum is at 47. 67% of that is positive news, 0% neutral, and 33% negative. The on-chain trend is stable. That means there's stability on-chain in the usage of the blockchain. But what is the biggest driver of the week now, and what does everyone ultimately need to know? Namely, it's essentially the leadership dispute that exists at Ondo. But we'll get to that in a moment. Let's first go to the protocol and tech update news. Gold and silver are becoming collateral, meaning more assets can be secured as trades, and that's directly on Ondo Preps. The source is also Ondo Preps from August 5th, so very, very recent news. Before we continue, here's my 10x Insider, which offers free value for you with various tools to support you in your investments. Just scan the code here or use the link in the video description, then you'll get all the further info. It's completely free. Definitely give it a try. But we're moving on to the news now, and let's first get to the partnerships and integrations. USDY is expanding to the BNB chain. Why is that important? Well, because USDY is naturally reaching more and more blockchain users this way. This is from Ondo Finance from August 4th, so some positive news. Then team and funding. As you can see, there's quite a bit of news, a lot going on here. Namely, on one hand, Grayscale is increasing the weight, the fund weight, let's say, of Ondo, meaning they have their own fund and they've naturally increased the shares now, which is positive because it shows that Grayscale apparently really continues to invest in Ondo and believes in it. And that is, of course, positive news. Source, Grayscale Investments. Then Ondo appoints a new CFO, as I mentioned earlier in the hook. And so ultimately, Adam Schließman has been since August 5th the CFO. And for Ondo, that means financial leadership is growing with the platform's size. CoinDesk from August 5th is the source. Then some rather negative news. Ondo has a leadership dispute in court. Right? 3 Delaware lawsuits on August 6th. A control dispute naturally also means increased business risk. And then we come to what's coming up next. Basically, we have 2 conferences in 7 days, Conviction 2026 and the HSC Convention in 8 days. And at both, the Ondo LPC director will appear and speak. So that's also important, of course. You'll need to watch what's being said there. It could have a positive or even a negative impact on Ondo. Now, as always, let's get into the chart analysis and see what the 10x indicator says. Where is the target zone right now? How much further can it go? If you want to use the 10x indicator yourself, you can scan here or check the video description. But let's jump straight into the chart analysis now. So, chart analysis for Ondo with my 10x indicator. We've already seen that there's been an exciting development here. It has risen relatively strongly compared to other altcoins, right? If you look at it here, from that point, almost 100%, right? RWA, good regulatory conditions. But then we already saw 2 large red dots here. That means watch out. A top could be forming here now, and there's also a small red dot. And after that, the sell-off followed. The target zone was for the small red dot, but since there were 2 large red dots before it, it's likely even lower. And that's what happened, right? Even the target zone was broken through. No small counter movement or anything, but really a massive crash. If we look at it from that point, it's about 20%. Even now, if we look down here, we're slowly getting back into the zone where it gets interesting. Well, I always see potential down here. If a large green dot forms there, it means a possible bottom is forming, but that's not present for Ondo at the moment. So personally, I wouldn't invest in it right now or do any DCA, but I'd wait until we go down here, a large green dot forms, and then it's an exciting opportunity for me. As I said, I would wait for now. Otherwise, let's take another look at Ondo as a whole. The weekly chart is, of course, extremely significant. That's interesting again. We had formed a small green dot on the weekly. The target zone would theoretically even be up to 74%. But you always have to keep an eye on the entire market, especially the situation in Iran, but also the Fed, the Central Bank of America, and what they're doing. So I'd be careful for now. As I said, I'd wait until we land here. And if you don't want to miss that big green dot in the end, then I'd recommend the 10x indicator. I'll link it for you right here. You can get more information there. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'd be happy if you'd subscribe to my channel now if you don't want to miss any more analyses and news on Ondo, but also of course other altcoins, and every Sunday a news video where I keep you up to date. Otherwise, I'll link the Ondo analysis for you right here. Enjoy watching, and then thanks. See you later.